Hey everyone, my name is Vojchehoske and welcome to Nebraska Landlord's YouTube channel where my mission is simple and that's to enhance the landlord-tenant relationship. So I want to answer this question. How close is Nebraska to allowing jury trials for tenant evictions? As it stands right now, evictions are bench trials. And this happened, I think, somewhere in the mid-90s where the legislature, for whatever reason, probably some type of efficiency reason, they decided to only go to bench trials. A bench trial is very simple. It's the judge, they are the arbiter of the facts, and they render the final decision. There is no process, no mechanism for a tenant to request a jury trial like they can do in just about every other legal suit. So the reason this is important is twofold. Number one, currently before the Nebraska legislature, there is a bill, Legislative Bill 1115. It was introduced by Senator Dungan, and if passed, it would allow tenants to request a jury trial. Now, the reason I think that LB 1115 is going to pass is because in 2023, there was a specific Nebraska State Supreme Court ruling where the Supreme Court of Nebraska was like, hey, the legislature needs to review this. So this case was NP Dodge Management Company versus the defendant, Teresa Holcomb, and it was an eviction case. And she was being evicted, and the county judge evicted her. Bench trial. So some of the organizations, Legal Aide, the ACLU of Nebraska, and I think a few other organizations, they got the defendant, Teresa Holcomb, to file appeals. And those organizations represented her. And it made it all the way to the Supreme Court. And in 2023, the Supreme Court made their ruling. And the ruling was interesting because the actual case itself was rendered moot, meaning essentially the defendant no longer had legal standing, and so therefore we're going to throw it out. However, the interesting part is 3 of the 7 Nebraska Supreme Court justices went out of their way to include concurring opinions. And in those concurring opinions, they wrote that the Nebraska legislature needs to look at this because we feel that the tenant does have a right to a jury trial. This is unconstitutional to only allow a bench trial. So having said that, 3 out of the 7, they only need 1 more justice to flip, and they have a majority where if another case comes before the Supreme Court, they're going to be able to overturn that anyways and render that specific statute requiring only bench trials to be unconstitutional. So because of that situation, I do believe it gives some energy and, some juice for the supporters of LB 1115 to get it passed. So, having said that, I think LB 1115 is ultimately going to pass. But if it doesn't, here's what I expect to happen. They're going to find another defendant that got evicted, and those same organizations are going to ensure that standing is legitimate. They're going to take it through the appeal process, get it before the Nebraska Supreme Court again anyways, and I'm pretty confident that there's going to be enough justices to make the change legally. So ultimately, within the next year or two, I think we're going to see jury trials for tenant evictions anyways. And the reason I bring that up is it's a great time to start preparing for those eventualities if you're in the rental property business. Now, if you want to learn more about LB 1115, I did a video on it, and I'm going to put a link right here. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you in the next video.